Hello, this video is for Notes 8.1 and Homework 8.1. The topic is adding and subtracting polynomials and multiplying polynomials. So let's get right to it. First, some vocabulary. So a polynomial is just a collection of terms. They could be variables, it could be constants, it could be both. It could be one term, or it could be 5 terms. But we generally name them according to the number of terms they have. We have what are called monomials, which are polynomials with one term. So that would be like, for example, 5x squared, or 3, or 7n. Then we have what are called binomials. These are polynomials with 2 terms. So this would be like, as you can see on the screen, 5x squared plus 3. The 5x squared is one term, the 3 is a second term. Notice that terms are separated by a plus or a minus. Next we have trinomials, which is a polynomial with 3 terms. So for example, 5x squared plus 3x minus 4 is a trinomial. Next we can talk about the degree of a term, which is just the exponent of that term. So for example, the term 5x squared has a degree 2 because of its highest exponent of 2. But we can also talk about the degree of a polynomial. The degree of a polynomial is the highest exponent in that polynomial. So for example, in the trinomial 5x squared plus 3x minus 4, the degree is 2 because its highest exponent is 2 in the first term. So now on to the arithmetic that we can do with polynomials. So as you can see here, we have 2 trinomials added together. So the way this works is I combine like terms just like we've been doing for quite some time. So I look in my terms and I see that I have a 4x cubed, but I don't have any other cube term. So therefore, my answer will begin with, well, let's do it this way. So my answer will begin with that cubic term, since, oops, didn't mean to do that. Since this is the only cube in the original problem, it stays. The same thing applies to the square term. Since the square term has no other square term to add it to or combine it with, it stays the same. Then things change a little. Notice we have a linear term, 5x, and then we have another linear term over here, negative 8x. We'll combine those two together, 5x minus 8x. And that's this part here. And then finally we have our constants. So we have a minus 2 here and a plus 9. So we combine those together here, minus 2 plus 9. Now we're going to simplify this. Notice that the 4x cubed and the 7x squared remain the same. 5x minus 8x, of course, is negative 3x. And then we have -2 plus 9, which is +7. We cannot simplify this any further because everything has already been combined. Next, how do we multiply polynomials? Well, we use the distributive property, just like we've been doing for quite some time. And when we are multiplying binomials, there's an acronym that a lot of people like to use. I'm not a big fan of acronyms, but if it works for you, that's fine. But the acronym is FOIL, and it is so common that I would be remiss if I did not mention it. You'll even hear people talk of foiling two binomials. What they mean is multiply the two binomials using the distributive property. But the word FOIL is so ubiquitous now, some people just refer to it as that. Well, the FOIL stands for something. It stands for first, outside, inside, and last. And all it's saying is to multiply those terms, though the order does not matter. It could be FOIL, it could be FLOY, or FLEO. It doesn't matter which order you do it in. But FOIL makes a word that we know, so that's why people use it. Well, anyway, first means to take the first term times the first term. So the first terms in each binomial. So that means I would do x times x, which gives me x squared. The O stands for outside. So that would be the two terms that are on the outside of the two binomials. So I would multiply x times 2, which gives me plus 2x. The I in FOIL is inside. That would be the two inner terms. In this case, it's 1 and x. So I would do 1 times x and get plus 1x, or just x. Finally, I will do the L in FOIL, which is last. Last refers to the last terms, or last times last, which would be 1 times 2. Well, 1 times 2 is plus 2. Okay, so now we will combine, because the two terms in the middle I can combine together, and I get x squared plus 3x plus 2. And that is my answer. So let's try another one of these using the so-called FOIL method. When I do first times first here, I'm going to do x times 2x. That gives me 2x squared. Then I'm going to do the O in FOIL, which is outside times outside. So that's 3 times x. So that's plus 3x. Next, I'll do the I in FOIL, which is inside times inside. Notice now I have -4 times positive 2x. That gives me minus 8x. And then finally the L, which is last times last. So that again is a -4 times a positive 3, which is minus 12. I can combine my like terms, and that gives me a final answer of 2x squared. 3x minus 8x is -5x. minus 12. We can take this a step further. So instead of multiplying a binomial times a binomial, we could also multiply a trinomial times a binomial. Now, there's no helpful acronym to use on this one. So you just have to remember that every term in the left set of parentheses multiplies by every term on the right. So this negative 3x will multiply by x and by 1, and the 2 will multiply by the x and the 1. So everything in each set of parentheses multiplies by everything in the other set of parentheses. So if I work this one out, I will do x squared times x. Then I'm going to add that to x squared times 1. Then I'll move to the second term, negative 3x times x. Then negative 3x times 1. And then finally 2 times x. And then 2 times 1. Now I have a lot of simplifying to do here. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 1, of course, is itself. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times 1 is itself negative 3x. 2 times x is plus 2x, and 2 times 1 is plus 2. Now we're still not quite done here because we can combine some terms. For example, these can be combined as well as these. So when we combine, we end up with x cubed, and then x squared minus 3x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 3x plus 2x is negative 1x, and then plus 2. We have nothing more to simplify here, so that's our answer. All right, if you have any questions on this assignment, feel free to send me a message on Remind, and I'll be happy to help. Otherwise, that wraps it up for this video. Give it the big thumbs up, smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you want to subscribe to a really boring YouTube channel. And have a great day.